Forgot to update your phone?
No, cause like some every once in a while, like an automatic thing, like it's like an automatic restart. Sometimes I don't have control of that one.
Oh, okay. I get it now. I understand. Jay, you're on mute, buddy.
Oh, I was talking this whole time. I didn't realize.
Yeah, you were. We didn't hear nothing, man. You was on mute.
My bad, my bad. But yeah, I said random updates, just like Windows.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we're kind of short staffed, but hey, we're gonna work with what we got here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. So nice that everyone's here. I know this ain't a lot of us, but I'm Phil, host of the Conversation Podcast, and I have some special guests with me tonight. This is part 2 of the Black Creators Panel. So before we get started, introduce yourselves before we go ahead and get this thing underway. Elizabeth, you want to go first?
Sure. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. Owner of Anime Ink Art. That's my art brand, that traditional art, and I use digital editing and create my own style. From Anime Ink Art, it's extended to podcasting, it's extended to cosplay, and I run a show called Anime Ink Art Live Talks, where I talk with different creators in the blurred community about, their journey in content creation. Doesn't matter the follower count, and how we can support each other better in the community. And we've been doing that for about 2 years within our journey, but we've started since 2021. So
Okay. So, Jay?
Hello, everyone. I'm Jay, also known as JHD or JeyHighDef, whatever you want to call me. I'm a cosplayer and a content creator. I focus mainly on blurred culture, anime, comic books, gaming, and I just like to pretty much just go on the internet and talk my heart out about all these things. My main goal with my content is to inspire more people to be more open with their nerdy side. And yeah.
Really amazing, guys. Y'all doing things that's gonna help people, people of different colors stand out and make them feel like they are welcome here.
That's the goal.
Exactly.
yep.
Now, before we get started, I want to do a little bit of an icebreaker. Now, I got a question. I know Jay plays games. Alyssa, do you play any games? Do you play Xbox or anything?
Not as much, but sometimes I might play like a little like phone game or like arcade game.
I got now. Let's play. Let's take a little example. It's a battle royale. Pick your top 3 favorite Marvel characters you would put in. Like, wait, no, yes, put it in like in these your top 3 superhero characters from Marvel or DC, and figure out which team you would have them on for battle royale. It can only be 3. I would choose Black Panther, Static Shock, and who else? Blade.
You want to go first?
Ooh, okay. Marvel or DC, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to choose Spider-Man. Spider-Man's my all-time favorite superhero. I think I'm gonna have to go Superman too. Superman has to be, other than Nightwing and Static, Superman is my 3rd favorite DC character. I just love him. And then lastly, I choose. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm picking these based off of just characters I enjoy rather than actually thinking about what they could do. So I said Spider-Man, Superman. Wow, Spider-Man, Superman actually sounds super like mainstream. But I'll go Spider-Man, Superman, and probably either Black Panther or The Flash.
Okay. For me, I feel like drinking maybe Storm. I don't know that this comes to mind. Storm, Wonder Woman, and who else? I think. Trying to think. It's more difficult than I thought. That's the third. I think the third one.
Storm and Wonder Woman are good picks. Very good picks.
There you go. Definitely
I'm
good
just,
picks.
I'm just thinking of like what I've seen them do, and then I'm trying to think the last one. Maybe from the X-Men. I feel like Magneto.
Okay. Those are some really good picks. As I like them. I like them. But shoot, the question is, who would survive? Which team would survive the longest, though? That's the question. But that's a discussion for another time. So the way I've done this is now that the ice is broken. So I know I got 25 questions, but I know we're not going to be able to get to all of them. So we'll just go as many as we can as possible. All right.
Sounds good.
So let's start with section 1, representation, identity, and gatekeeping. Now, can you remember the first moment you truly felt seen as a validated? Sorry, my mind's on vacation. Can you remember the first moment you truly felt seen or validated as a Black creator in this space? Elizabeth, you want to go first, and then Jay?
Yeah, sure. I think when I went to BlurredCon the first time, in 2024, just because I think like it was almost a year since I started Anime Inc. Our Live Talks, and not to say that like I wasn't recognized before, but I think like the show helped like push other things that I was doing. Because like I talked to more mutuals. So when I went to BlurredCon, a lot of those mutuals were there. So I kind of felt like seen because whether I interacted with them in like their podcasts and stuff like that, and then they knew people, and they're introducing me, and then it was kind of like people came up to me and they're like, "Hey, oh, you're Lizzie." Like whether it was from the podcast, which I didn't think of as a podcast at first, or they kind of like saw other things out of it. I was just like, I'm just little old me. I didn't think you knew like you knew my name or like my face, but like that kind of was like the first time I was like, oh, I mean, I guess people do notice me a little bit.
Okay, sweet. And Jay?
I'd have to say, okay, I have two. Like these are two different like levels of feeling validated.
Right.
So the first would also be my first BlurredCon, which was also BlurredCon 2024. That was the first time I was in like a true Black nerd space, and I don't know if I would really call myself like a content creator at that point just yet, but I definitely sharing stuff on the internet at that time. So it felt really nice seeing all the people and, getting compliments on my cosplay. And it was just like a really safe space that like really inspired me to actually step in content creation, like for real. And then the second time would be from one of my mutuals. This was later last year when they DM'd me and they told me that basically that I really inspired them to, like, as a Black man, I really inspired them to like step into their nerdy side and go deeper into the cosplay and just be more of themselves. So that was like probably the realest validation I could ever get from someone.
That's nice. And lately, these last few years, we've seen more Black people step into cosplay and be like they can be whoever they want without any limitations. I know there's still a lot of backlash going on. As y'all saw in one of my previous videos was talking about, like people just kept complaining about you're not the character or whatnot. But I know for me, I never went to a BlurredCon before. I'm still trying to get to that point because you know how expensive travel is and these conventions are these days. But I am trying my best to interact with you guys by going on social media and see what people are on social media these days, and we're like, oh shoot, let me go talk to this person. And I got more people who are coming and talking to me as I keep doing this kind of thing. So in my own way, I guess I am contributing by connecting with others on social media and see what events is going on in my hometown as well. So it's working.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. So it may not be perfect, but at least it's something better than nothing. Next question. Have you ever been told directly or indirectly, and we've all heard this question before, that you don't look like the character? What did that moment teach you about this community?
Okay.
I feel like Jake could answer that.
I'm
Go
not
ahead,
sure
Jake.
if you saw the roundtable. Liz put out a few a couple months ago. But yeah, we actually did talk about this, and yeah, it's happened quite a bit. Yeah. You could probably, if you go onto my TikTok and look at some of my posts, you can see those comments still there. But it's really disappointing seeing that people are like this still, and to say you don't like just saying all these things about you. But also at the same time, it's not too surprising because, you know, we're Black, we're in the US, literally I grew up in the South, so I've dealt with racism my whole life, so it's like nothing new, so it's not too shocking. But it does inspire me to keep going, because it does let me it lets me know that we do still need more representation out there. I seen this one TikTok video where the guy was basically saying, like, no matter what, he was like, no matter what, you're a Black content creator, you will always be needed in this community because we don't get enough respect or representation. And so, yeah, so pretty much it just motivate me to keep going.
For me, I think because I'm not on the platforms where you get the most comments, like TikTok or like Twitter. Like, I'm mostly on Instagram. I haven't gotten as much. I did get a little bit of hate for my assassination classroom. They're like, "Why are you cosplaying it? Because, you know, you're this color and stuff like that." But it was mostly like they felt like it wasn't accurate. Like, why are you doing it? Like, it was so cringe. I just did it because I was like, well, let me try face painting, because it didn't have like a mask for him and everything like that, and I didn't expect it to go viral. That was like one of the few videos that went viral, so I just had to deal with it. But it just made me feel like, oh, it happens sometimes. Like, if your video goes viral, you have to deal with it, especially as a Black creator, because for some reason they just get very triggered when they see our skin color, and we're literally just cosplaying the same things that a white person is cosplaying, or any other color. But it's kind of like, I think, you know, that side of the fence when it comes to the cosplay community, they forget that they're kind of cosplaying the race that the character's supposed to be. And like sometimes in these shows, like, they're not even like the right, like, they're not even they claim to be Japanese, but sometimes they're even from a different country. And if you're not from that country, you're not exactly the same race. So I just think people need to realize they're fictional characters.
Yeah, it's something, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because something, and yes, I did see the panel. I saw a few clips of it, and I got to understand it, and then I just shut down. But I will say this: something that I had in discussion in part one of the Black Creators panel, Honest Cosplays. She told me that, it seems that, no matter how much they try to change these characters, I'll give you one example. You guys know about Captain America from Avengers Endgame, right?
Mhm.
Where he gave the shield to Sam Wilson. And then we got Captain America Brave New World. And it didn't get much views because people complained that Steve Rogers wasn't back as Captain America. But I was like, he gave the shield for a reason. There's a certain notion in their heads that white people need to be the center of attention. That's all they're asking for. That's why they feel so triggered when they see a different person of color cosplaying acting this character in this film, movie, or anime show, whatever it is. And we've seen throughout the years like this. Listen, this is nothing new. This has been happening since day one. I'm not shocked at all. They've been doing this since day one, and we've seen these attacks escalate to greater heights. And it's like, shoot, it just doesn't stop. Like, it's like, oh, for the race to the bottom, you guys will always win.
Yeah, that's true.
So, oh, sorry, were you about to say something, Jay?
No, I'm just agreeing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's interesting.
Yeah,
That's all I can say.
Yeah, they just, like I said, they want to be the center of attention. They're doing this for attention. But what do you gain out of this other than the fact that these are characters who are not even real? They're not even existing in real life. And sometimes people just don't sit down and read the comic books. They just want to get straight to the point. Like me, these last few weeks, I've been doing a lot of reading. So I'm just trying to make sure I have enough information to share with you guys and be like, hey, this sort of thing happened in this book that I read. And some people just don't want to sit down and learn.
No, that's correct.
Yeah, ignorance is definitely in abundance.
So, well, oh well. If that's the case, we're just gonna keep, like I said, I don't care what y'all say. We're gonna keep doing the things that we love and just keep talking about it.
Yep.
Mm.
Now I don't do cosplay. I tried at 21. I just realized it's not for me. But I respect your work, Jay. Okay, I respect your work.
Thank you. I try my best.
I just do whatever I can. As just myself. Next question: what do you wish non-Black fans understood about why Black representation in cosplay and creative spaces actually matters?
Trying to think. That's actually a good question. I was gonna say because it actually makes you like think. I guess I'll start. I think like why representation matters is because, especially for us in the blurred community, we're doing what we didn't see when we were growing up. And for a lot of us, doing that, it inspires the next generation so that if they see people that look like us, they won't be fearful. And then us trying to, I guess, combat the hate and everything like that is not because we're trying to, be a menace, but hey, if you think we're being a menace, well, I guess, all to you guys. But it's necessary because it's just like the way a lot of us in the community when we get attacked or people get certain roles in movies or they cosplay certain things and stuff like that and they get that hate. We would have loved to have people like how we're doing for the next generation and just amongst ourselves being like, hey, we don't approve of that, we're going to keep doing it because we love it, and I think that that will help the next generation of people like us because the whole goal is to try to keep it going through different generations so that like the legacy never dies in the sense. I feel
I think for me, what I wish they understood is that everyone deserves the chance to be seen, whether that's through the content they make online or whether is that me seeing someone who looks like me on the screen. I can give you two examples in my life with characters who I love to this day, which made me, as a young child, and I'm talking like 5, 6 years old, it really made me understand my identity better. Um, I'm sure we all know of the superhero named Virgil Hawkins, aka Static, and how back in the early 2000s there was a TV show on Cartoon Network named Static Shock. I remember watching that show as a child, and like it fully connected to me that I was Black, I was African American, and it's mainly because of that show. And I was so attached to that show because it felt like real representation. And mind you, I'm a young child. I'm like 5, 6 years old. I don't really understand this concept of race, but I knew this show was different. Second instance I can think of was the first comic book I have ever owned actually was a comic book called Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. This comic book came out in 2011, and if you don't know this, this was the comic to follow the Ultimate Fallout #4, which was the introduction to Miles Morales. Miles Morales, and it's another reason why Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters. Both Peter Parker and Miles. But with Miles Morales, it was nice seeing someone who looks exactly like me, and even to this day, I get told all the time I look like Miles. It's probably because of the hair and how he looks in Spider-Verse now. But that was another instance where it's like, oh, I can see someone who looks like me not only be a superhero, but have such a big title as Spider-Man be me. And like something I always think about is Stan Lee saying the reason, or he didn't do this on purpose, but it was kind of like a positive side effect to Spider-Man that when he created Spider-Man, you can't see any part of his skin because it kind of represents that anyone can wear the mask, right? So to get back to my point, is like, I wish they understood that this representation matters for other people. Like, white people, they have all the representation on the world. They can turn on any channel and they will see them starring in these shows. They can get the idea of who they want to be. They can see things, all these things. For us, it's harder. We don't see those things. It's hard for someone like me to turn on a TV and see someone in a role that I want to be. Like, for example, I'm an engineer professionally, right? Going, like, you don't see a lot of black engineers on TV, right? It's always a white person or an Asian person. It's never a black person, right? So me being a black engineer or me being a black content creator doing these nerdy things shows this next, like you said, Lizzie, shows the next generation that it is possible for you to be in these roles. It is possible for you to be a nerd, to like this, that, and a third, right? So I wish they could, I just wish they could understand that representation is important for growth and development as a person.
Yeah, and it's still, there's still people who are still dragging their feet, just kicking and screaming. But we're trying to get y'all to understand, like us, we work so much as hard to make sure that we have representation in all these areas. Like, I've seen so many stuff on like the new, like it's like social media where people do a lot of amazing things. If you remember, there's also this one thing, and this is something else that Bree told me in my last conversation, that she read an article where Koreans in like South Korea, they're doing like black hairstyles, which is pretty cool. It's seriously, I don't know if y'all saw any of that, but it's really awesome.
I've seen a little bit. Mostly like the braid. I've seen the braids a lot and a little bit of the locks. I haven't seen like the other styles, but like I've seen a lot of people braiding their hair over there.
Yeah, like they have so much talent even across us, like the globe. And I think because we have so many people who get these roles and be part of something. Like, and by the way, Jay, I did start Static Shock for Black History Month. I even went to the neighborhood comic store, and I also got a Static Shock graphic novel. Oh, I haven't started reading yet, but I'm going to read it this weekend when I get a chance.
Nice.
But let me stay on topic. But yes, you have superheroes. You got all kinds of like fantasy characters who want, because I've seen so many fantasy characters who are black at colors. Because lately, if you've been watching a lot of Japanese animations, they bring a lot more dark skinned characters. Same thing like with Gachiataka, for example.
Yep.
And that got me excited because I was like, please keep doing that.
Yep. Jabber, Simu. Oh, I love them so much. And I don't know, Corvus, and the English dub is like perfect. They nailed all the voices perfectly, especially Zeno Robinson. Shout out Zeno Robinson.
There you go. So, I actually spoke with one of them back during Christmas. I spoke with Corey Wilder, as I think Elizabeth saw that.
Oh, I think I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I spoke with Corey Wilder. He's an amazing person. Thing is, I'm actually going to talk with him again next week because, surprise, surprise, I'm doing a black voice actor panel.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that's going to be pretty huge, and it's 10 people. So I gotta roll up my sleeves for that one. So, but yeah, more representations coming these days. I think we just need to keep sharing all of these stories because we've seen so many people, especially little girls, started freaking out when they saw Halle Bailey as Ariel back in 2023. Yeah, I think that was something magical right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the more people bring black actors and people who like being star characters that they like growing up, the more little girls and boys can be like, this can be me. This can be me right here. There's no limitations on what kind of character I want to be as. So like, same thing with you when you said Static Shock.
Yeah. And that's one thing, the Spider-Verse movies really like blasted Miles into the mainstream. And now like where a lot of people don't remember this, but I do, when Miles first came out, it was like there was so much rage. And even to this day, there's a lot of like hatred online saying he's not really Spider-Man and this, that, and third. But he also he also gets a lot of love now, and I really love that for him. And I
Mhm.
love how they're able to represent us, especially in that Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah, and lately, and guess what? I just read from the news today that after the Avengers movies, Sam Wilson is going to still be Captain America.
Oh, nice.
It's not going to change anything. I'll be telling y'all, like, because okay, so let me. I'm starting to get heated here. Every time when they when someone kills a white character, they pass the main on. Like, because if you remember the first Spider-Verse movie, and you guys do, Peter Parker was killed by Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So Miles Morales had to pick up the mantle and continue being Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing because if you read the comics, Peter does die in those comics.
Yes.
So it was up to Miles Morales to continue the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like I said, with Avengers Endgame, with Steve Rogers gave the shield because he's earned that. He finally gets to put down his shield because he's earned that. He gives it to Sam Wilson.
Yes, exactly. And I really don't like how there's a lot of people who come up with the excuse, oh, why don't they just create their own original characters? Like, why does Sam Wilson have to be Captain America? Or why does Miles Morales have to be Spider-Man? Meanwhile, we have, I don't know, two white Green Lanterns. We have what, 4 white Flashes? But just because a black man is now Captain America, then it becomes a problem. Must we forget the original Captain America was a black man, Isaiah Bradley? It's just like
exactly my point.
The problem is I have with that is like, first off, we do. Second off, when we do try to push it, y'all do the same thing. Y'all complain that we're making our own characters. So like you need to calm down. Like either or, like it's happening. Either we're making original characters or it's other characters. And again, they're fictional characters. I'm going to the screen. They're fictional characters.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
especially like if they're mermaids or sorcerers or wizards specifically. Y'all know there can be any race, right? And then when it comes to mermaids, what happened with Halle Bailey, there's lore in the Caribbean about mermaids. I know y'all didn't know that, but just
Yeah, because Destiny Siren, who I had last time on here 2 weeks ago, she was saying like if the crab has a Caribbean accent, it makes sense to have a black mermaid and a black actor voicing Sebastian, right? So exactly to add to if that's to add to your point, listen. So yeah, it makes sense. Like seriously, y'all. Like if y'all would just pay it. This is why I tell people they don't pick up a book and read. And listen, I need to do better too. I'm trying to read much as I can these days. I've been busy doing other stuff. I'm talking to myself too. I got some stuff I need to read when I'm finished here. But y'all got to sit down and learn about these things. Y'all just don't want to do that. So, what can we do, right?
I know. I'm gonna continue cosplaying characters I want. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's the same thing too. Destiny also said, oh, in my list, she said, my petty ass just wants to cosplay characters that just make white people upset. So, yes, she's very nice. But check out, she's done a lot of amazing. Her name is Destiny Siren. She's done. Shout out to Destiny here. She's done a lot of amazing stuff. So make sure y'all check her out when we finish. Number 4, what stereotypes or assumptions do you find yourself constantly pushing back against as a black creator?
I was gonna say, Jay, you want to go first?
Any stereotype I come up with is just pretty much stereotypes related to just stereotypes people have of for black people in general. Nothing specific to being a black content creator. Like you can look in my comments and there will be a bunch of racist things related to, being black, whether it's, I'm not going to say the things, but because I'm sure we all can think of some things, but
we already know the end result, man.
But all in all, I don't think I've faced any stereotypes specifically for being a black content creator. Just stereotypes for being black.
A cosplay. You got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. For me, I was trying to figure it out because I'm not sure if these stereotypes are like specifically just for like being a creator. I guess maybe I've curated a space where I don't get it as often, but I feel like when it comes to the art side, I think it's mostly like that there's supposed to be a certain criteria for you to be like a black creator. I think that's what it is, or like a black artist. They're like questioning how black you are, if that makes
Mm,
sense.
Mm.
Because like on the art side, sometimes there's like a pressure where sometimes we just want to draw whatever we want. Sometimes it's fan art and sometimes it's original art, and it depends on the space that you're in. The people that may not see a lot of the black art, they may not know that you do it when you get the chance, but like you're in a space where you want to do the fan art or it sells well, so they see that and they're just like, oh well, you should draw more black characters. Like it's not like you're a black artist, this, that, and the third.
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I'm trying, but then at the same time, like, I mean, sometimes the same people don't look at it or they don't buy it, but like you do draw it anyways. And then on the same coin, when they do see it, sometimes they're like, oh, that's cute. But like, where's the and then I think for me as a person, it's like they always question like how black enough I am. Like if I speak proper, then it's not the right like I'm not the right version of black, or like things that I like. But luckily in the blurred community, I think like we've all dealt with that, like kind of like that's why we get drawn to the blurred community, because growing up maybe like they're like, oh, why do you like rock music, or why do you like anime, or like why do you like classical music? That was kind of me growing up and like going into content creation. So
You saying that actually made me actually like think of one too. Another and this is specifically for black cosplayers, but like especially I know it happens especially to black women who cosplay. Telling when they see like a black character and they say, "Oh, you should cosplay that character." Like I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
No, I know black women, especially if they have like a fro, the
Yeah.
people will always tell them cosplay Garnet.
Yes.
Oh yes,
Uh,
yeah, Garnet.
But and then like for me specifically, I know a lot of people told me to cosplay Mr. Terrific. Now I did cosplay Mr. Terrific,
I
but
did
that's
see that.
because I wanted to, not because they told me.
Yeah.
But like just things like that. When they see a black character, they're like they automatically assume black people should be cosplaying black characters, but not necessarily true. We cosplay everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Cosplay everyone. Listen, I've seen people cosplay as Yoichi and all that stuff from Bleach, and they also cosplay. What was the other person that they cosplay? I think that's the only one they cosplay, but they felt like they could be. I've seen a few black girls cosplay Ringiku from Bleach, which I think was really sick. I was like, it's like we don't have to cosplay just the black characters in all these shows. Like, what's stopping us? Like, because I think what they're trying to do, they're trying to limit us to how many characters we can cosplay, which has been the case for a while. But we don't y'all can't put strings on us. Like we can cosplay wherever it doesn't really matter. So, but some people who are just deeply rooted in how these characters came out in the manga and books and movies, is they're just too concerned about the concurrent accuracy. Like accuracy don't matter in this business. The only accuracy that matters is the art. I don't care who the person is, as long as the art is amazing. And that's what some people just don't seem to wrap their heads around.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean I don't have anything to say. I just want to be silly. I just want to be silly for a second, but like I've never seen like a bad black Nanami cosplayer. Every black person who cosplayed Nanami, whether you're man, woman, non-binary, every black Nanami cosplayer is absolutely always on point.
Yeah.
I think Nanami was meant to be cosplayed by black people.
I think
He just has this certain swagger to him that black people could pull off the best.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I actually agree, because all those Nanami outfits I saw on social media were outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, don't put strings on us. Like, those outfits are sick. Every time I see a good cosplay, I repost it a lot of times. so people can see it.
Mhm.
I think that's something. I think that's something, and I think that's something truly amazing to have. Just being able to put all your effort into this character and be like, "Hey, this is me. I can cosplay whoever I want to be, no matter what anyone says. I don't care what nobody says."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last question of section 1. They'll be in section 2. Next one, section 2 is going to be important. Okay, but let's get to the last question. Now, when people say cosplays for everyone, what does that really mean, and where does the community fall short of the ideal? You guys probably know the answer, but go ahead.
Oh man, you want to go first?
Cosplay for everyone means there's nothing deeper to it. That's exactly what it means. Cosplay is for everyone, anyone, no matter your race, your gender identity, your sexuality, your religion, no matter what, it's for everyone. You are allowed to cosplay whatever and whoever you want. The point is to have fun, be silly, have a good time. Where it falls short, we have there's too much. Okay, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to
Take your time, man.
We have too many, let's say gatekeepers. We have too many gatekeepers in the community who don't want to see people out who look different from them cosplaying.
Yeah.
And that's where we fall short. We have allowed, and I'm not going to say it's a lot. It's definitely a problem, but I also think it's a loud minority who caused this problem.
Yeah.
I am someone who has faith in humanity, and I think a majority of people in this world are good people, and I think a lot of people in the nerd community and the blurred community are good people. It's that loud minority that causes the problem.
Yeah.
Again, they're attention seekers.
That's true. Oh man. So when they say cosplays for everybody, doesn't matter, where on the spectrum you fall on, how big, how skinny, how tall, how short, whether people think you're attractive or not attractive. Whether, all of those things combined, whether you made the cosplay from scratch, whether you 3D from scratch, whether you closet cosplay, whether you bought the damn cosplay. That's what for me means, cosplays for everybody at every stage, whether you're a beginner or expert level. Now, I'm just going to say there is no reason why we should have a war as to how well somebody cosplays based on if they made it or they did it. There is a reason why craftsmanship, competitions are a thing. That's specifically for them. But just because somebody buys the cosplay or they do it casually or whatever the case may be, does not mean they're not a cosplayer. And I say this because unfortunately, I don't talk about these things, but because I've interviewed so many people in the community, and I've unfortunately had to be in the loop of some of the dramas, there's apparently a war going on of what constitutes you being a proper cosplayer, and I'm tired of it, and y'all need to stop. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
It really is. That actually reminded me. Halloween, KB and we did chowder and panini, right?
Oh, I remember what you had to. Go ahead. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
On one of our videos, someone commented, because in the video we said our Halloween cosplay, right? Someone commented that costume, not cosplay. And then her and I both replied, no, cosplay. And then this person, she had said, oh, my bad. I just went on y'all's page. I didn't know you guys were real cosplayers, because I guess she saw all the costumes on the page. But that isn't the point. Regardless if we had cosplays or not on our page, we were, regardless of how the other stuff we do, that was still a cosplay. We were still in a costume and we were being these characters. That's like cosplay. Doesn't matter if we had made these outfits from scratch or, like you said, bought it from a store. Like if I had just went into like Spirit Halloween and copped the costume 10 minutes before we made the video. Regardless, it's a cosplay.
Yeah.
course, definitely. And shoot, they still. I tell you, these guys are all trolling in the comment sections when they start doing this kind of stuff. And ever since, and I just saw the other situation where this guy was calling y'all names with the chowder.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring it up in here.
Mhm.
Yeah, all these people just got something to say in the comments. Like, I do like the positive things, but there's always the few bad apples that come in and got something under to say. And
Mhm.
it's like, people post more love than hatred in those comment sections,
Mm.
which I think is a really crucial effort because
Yeah.
most likely, when we do something, you got people who will just take the time out of the day. I don't know. Well, let me give you one example, and I might skim off a little bit. Did y'all see my post regarding that guy who came on my YouTube page and started attacking one of my guests on
Oh
there?
yeah, I saw that
Mm.
post.
Yeah, so I called him out on it because what's interesting to me is, and I found out who this person was. She was attacking Abby as we were trying to get on her.
Mm.
She's in the emergency room. She was attacking Abby because they had a falling out with one of the pictures she was playing in. I think it's something with
Mm.
Caroline something.
Yeah.
What was it called? The woman's name is Caroline Bryant or something. History.
Mhm.
I can't remember what the name was, but she was attacking her, and
Mm.
I called her out on it. I think what happened was, now that people know who you are, she blocked her face on YouTube.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I was like, we both know you did that because you're a coward.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I just be telling people, sometimes people come at me in the comment sections and all that stuff. And I just be telling people, listen, you guys can say whatever you want. I believe in the First Amendment, okay?
Mhm.
Just be forewarned that I
Yeah.
will bring the receipts if you mess around and find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some things I like to remind people about the First Amendment. It's like freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom of consequence.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true.
So, but yeah, I think that post almost got 1,000 views now,
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
which is like, I was like, usually when I post something, they don't get that many views, but I guess this was a dire situation. Well, it
Yeah.
ain't that dire, but this person just wanted to griff and just get some attention. So
Yeah.
I was like, you want attention, you got it.
But sometimes I just feel I get some validation of just not engaging because
That too.
all they're
Because
doing is wasting their time, not mine.
Because remember, I said I could do a video on that, be like, but I was like, nah, you ain't gotta do that much for us.
Yeah.
I think the thing with me is like when people try it, I go in your DMs and I address you like if it's necessary. I'm like I don't do the back and forth in the comments. Like I would DM to you directly and be like, hey, what is the problem? And people don't like that. So that like usually like once I delete it and like I come into their chat like let's have a talk. Like what like what is going on? They're like, oh shit, I wasn't because like I don't do the whole like I don't do like the whole like for my page and everything to see it because it's like what's the point like you came here for what this page is not here for so
They just, like I said, they just doing it for attention. But the fact of the matter is, y'all doing what y'all love. That like I said, y'all doing what y'all love. The make sure I'm making you doing cosplay, you doing art, Elizabeth. I always tell people peace and love over hatred.
At the end of the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny, it says the only thing more powerful hate is love. You gotta
Yeah.
live by those words.
It exactly. And people just just freaking out by Bad Bunny. I actually like Bad Bunny's movie, and he's right. That was a powerful message. And they thought, oh, this is a horrible halftime show.
I love the halftime show. That was great. I have fun.
It's always sorry. It's always funny when you react to like certain people's like rage bait with like a calm demeanor. This is like a side, just a small sidetrack. I was getting attacked for my opinions on JJK.
Oh my gosh.
When the episode came out with Maki, and I got accused of like supporting genocide when I basically just said like the person in question, Ranta, his faith was determined because he put himself into it and he accepted the bad things in that particular family in case people who watch it did not watch it. So they proceed to tell me that, you know, he didn't know any better. He was a prepubescent teen, and that you obviously support genocide too. So I was just like, not you proving my point. Not you proving my point that like.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. That's like a crazy jump. I was like, oh yeah, it happened. Like it's like that's what happened in the story. Oh, so you support genocide? How did we get there?
And all I said was like, you know, nowhere in that statement did I say that.
Yeah,
but...
it's. I don't know if you've seen that meme on Twitter where they're like, where it's like someone's like, oh, I like waffles, and so he's like, oh, so you hate pancakes, right? It's kind of that situation. It's like, no, I never said that.
And I was just like, you know, have the day you deserve, and that's all. That's all. That was my input, and they never responded because I guess it wasn't what they wanted.
Crazy. You know, and sometimes I see people be crashing out all the stuff because, you know, especially with pancakes, you saw people who were just crashing out. I think this happened a few months ago. When did this happen? Back in August, where people were just crashing out over the whole Cracker Barrel logo change.
Oh,
I was like, don't even get me started on that. And he was like, it's good crazy because as I read this video and I saw the comment section, I was like, hey, he was saying, it may be special to you and your brother, but it's not that deep. I wish I had the same aim outrage for school shootings.
Yeah.
Right? The same way you do for logo change. It's a rebranding. They're not seasoning their food still, so you're safe. Do you guys go for the food or go for the sign?
It's like, you know, it's a different sign. It's the same store. You can still go. It's not shutting down.
I was like, of all the pictures, and you make sure to have the sign in the background. This is like a big deal for you, right? And then he said, and I wish I was this privileged. As oh my gosh, they're taking that old man over the sign. But I've been trying to be like, the thing is I saw the logo and I was like, you know, the new logo change was awful. You know, it kind of felt lazy, and I wish they hadn't done it. But I don't care if they got that old man sitting there or not. Nobody cares. And then I said, except for all of you guys making content about how pissed off you are about this whole logo change. Like the secondhand embarrassment is there for me. But also, I often like awkward situations, and I also thrive in it, and I kind of like it. So, yeah. Keep being triggered, snowflakes. I just, you know, they just get triggered over the simplest things. And same thing with as far as like, you know, with stuff like Bad Bunny and cosplaying. It's keep being triggered. I don't care. It's hilarious stuff. But yeah. Just ignore them. They like, you know, spare me with your performative pearl clutching. So we're out of section 1. Now we're in section 2. This one's important because, you know, after the situation with Ash Squid Kid, we're going to be talking about harassment, racism, and mental health. Now, was there ever a moment when negativity, harassment, or racism made you seriously question continuing to create? And again, you already know the answer to this question, so go ahead.
I don't talk about it often, but there was a period of time last year around November to December where I had that moment. And I think it's just because our community is beautiful, but when you have been, I've interviewed like 150 plus creators in the past, like almost 3 years. So I've like I've realized like the different communities and like everything is mixing. And what happens sometimes is like they mean well, but sometimes like I get like you know, like when you accidentally hear drama and you're not part of it, and like they tell you about somebody else and you're like, what do I do with this information? It's like either I've never met the person before or I've met the person, but you know, like it was a lot of like discernment and trying to figure out like who was actually for the community or who was like pretending to be for the community, and then now I find out that they were doing X, Y, and Z. And because a good amount of my content for that show is to uplift as many people as possible, I had this moment where I'm like, I don't want to bring anybody on here that like is not doing what they're supposed to do. So I had to like, it was exhausting, like on top of whatever I'm already doing outside of, like the show. And it's kind of just like, and then just certain communities were falling out. And I happened to be in those communities, and it was like, I would never show that, but behind the scenes, I was hearing all these things, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but like I had to take like a few days off of even looking at Instagram or looking at TikTok. Like it was getting to that point, but I just have to remind myself, I was like, the people that respect what I'm doing and everything like that, they'll stay, they'll keep supporting, and I don't have control of like the outside noise. But that was like a moment where I was just like, I want to continue doing it, but at the same time, it's like I need a break.
I think for me, yeah, there's definitely been a time where it was just like questioning it. Because sometimes the hate comments can get overwhelming. Even like when I was like a younger kid, there was always like this unwritten rule when you were Black or someone, or you knew, like for example, with Black YouTubers, if you watch Black YouTubers and you yourself were Black, there was like an unwritten rule: don't read the comments, because obviously there's going to be a lot of messed up stuff in the comments, especially back in the day. But yeah, there's definitely been a time where it has felt overwhelming or stressful to do this, but I kind of changed my mindset around it. I mentioned earlier a TikTok video where the guy, he was like, you are a Black content creator, like you're needed. No matter how many of them there are, you will always be needed, because we will always need more Black content creators. And like we were talking about the representation, I will continue doing this. I'll just have to, push through. It does get stressful at times, but in the end, I do enjoy it more than it stresses me out. And I feel like if I continue to do this, I do give good representation for like, especially Black men in the space who, let them know it's okay to be weird or nerdy or silly on the internet. But yeah.
That's nice. If I can contribute to that question as well, I'm not sure this can relate to this, but I'll see. I'll try the best I can here. There was a situation while I was in college. I did my 4 years in college like I was supposed to. I got that done. Because I think if you saw my previous referrals before I started this whole podcasting journey, I did photography for a few years, and I did take some very good pictures of people, and they really liked them. But I had a few incidences with a lot of people, because thing is, the college I went to was a predominantly white college.
Mm.
So I mean, thank God I got out there and did what I was supposed to do and got out.
Mm.
But there's a situation where I was taking pictures for people for my portfolio for like senior thesis and whatnot. And there was this incident that I had in photography class where women, well, there's mostly white women in there, who was telling me that I was like doing a lot of, I don't know what happened with them, what prompted them to go to the teacher and saying like, so he called me to his office and he was saying like, why do you like taking pictures of women? So my first thought to that question was like, where is this coming from? So after he was saying like, why you like taking pictures of women, I think if I can say it, she thought I had a like white woman fetish or something. I was like, what the hell?
Mm.
So I reported it to Title IX, and she told me, like I reported to Title IX, and I think what happened is she talked to the teacher and saying that you really shouldn't be even making that kind of assumption. So she set him straight, because I was nervous to go back to class. And then I think she also had a conversation with the woman in the classroom that called her to her office. And then they just told him that's not what I was doing. I'm trying to do stuff in my portfolio.
Mhm.
And like I said before, what do you expect? I'm a black person in a predominantly white school, so it comes with it. And then last year in 2025, was April 2025, I had another situation like that where this one when we did take some good pictures, but the 2 days later she starts crashing out on me like, what's going on? Like, what happened was she said she has some friends who would be interested. So thing is, I'm still learning how the whole business thing works. I got too excited. And I did apologize for not mentioning her without her consent, but she said, but you did it anyway. Okay, I'm saying I'm sorry. What else do you want me to do? So she decides to crash out and call me delusional on social media.
Mhm.
And that was really a shame because I was like, you crashing out over some freaking pictures. Like, why can't we just sort this whole thing out? And I did apologize about not mentioning your friends without any consent first. So you're really making this a big deal and just drawing attention on social media. Like, she sent this to all her friends and they started like stalking my profile. I think one of them sent me a death threat too.
Mhm.
So when I reported him, I think he deleted social media because I called him out on it.
Mhm.
And so, like, his exact question was because I'm trying to remember what he said. Oh yeah, this is what he said. He said, "I'm going to track you down and cut off your hands."
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I was like, so here's how I retorted to that. I was being calm. I was like, I actually, because I did a video about this guy, and I was like, I actually like this one about the part gonna cut off my hands. My hands will most likely be holding a cordless hole puncture in them. So you might have to deal with that first, but good luck there, bud.
Mhm.
So like he ain't gonna do nothing. So I just called him out and he deleted his Instagram.
Mhm.
So, but this kind of situation, and I don't like turning back history, but this is real life. This kind of gave me like an Emmett Till type situation because it was a white woman who was calling out all of her friends to do this. Like they were checking and stalking my profile, and this stuff, and like I said, this type of stuff right here is what got Emmett Till lynched.
Yeah.
So if this relates to any of the answers in here, because there has been some kind of like harassment and racism. The thing is, I put photography back on the table for a while, and I just picked this up. Now people are telling me I should go back to it, but you can't let stuff like that keep you from making art.
Yeah.
So, but I might go back to it at a later time. But right now, I'm just doing interviews. But but I hope this kind of relates to what you guys had to go through. If this helps.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It's something you love, but like you just pushed it back a little bit because you're trying to like rework. Like it's trauma at the end of the day. Like you didn't deserve that. You know what I mean? And it's just like you had to pivot for a while. It wasn't working out in the way that you were doing it at that moment. But I feel like through the interviews and stuff like that, and more people that you interact with the community, you can come back in a different way.
Yeah, and to be honest, I had to think back and go to my college friend. Like it, I've done 3 documentaries, and I like interviewing people. So this came along. So
Yeah.
I had to put photography back on the shelf and come up with a plan B.
Yeah.
So, and it's working out so far. I got so many people tuning in and checking me out. I didn't expect to be doing voice actors as well. So that's why I showed you that I'm doing John Swahey next Wednesday, the voice of All for One.
Congratulations,
Congrats on
you earned it.
I was like, how the hell do we get to the big bad villain in My Hero Academia? I'm freaking out. I thought he was at least going to be at least a few more seasons, but what?
I think it's gonna be fun because he seems to really like MHA and have a lot of info on it. So,
Hey, like I said, I just like going and reading stuff. So, I mean, is that a crime?
no.
No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, really excited, But yeah, like I said, each of us went through this sort of trauma, but that didn't stop us for what we have to do. So I say, whatever happens, we just keep doing it. Don't let anyone else tell us different. So, let's see. Number 3, what personal boundaries or practices have you had to develop to protect your mental health while remaining visible online? Actually, before y'all answer this question, I actually did do a documentary on mental health awareness during college. So I had some pretty. I think people we had a good time throwing that back. But I just want to let y'all know before y'all go ahead and get started.
Yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wanna go first, too?
Yeah, I can go first. One thing, some boundaries I had to put. Don't read every comment if a post goes viral. That will really mess you up if you think about it too much. So, and then also when creating content, not to like create content that I think will be popular. Like I like to create things that I find that I enjoy creating. Like especially lately, I've been just yapping about different nerdy topics, and so yeah, pretty much doing content for me and not for everyone else in a sense, and just trying to ignore the negativity.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. I kind of agree with that. That's something with, especially the new change in the algorithm. I've still been creating the content I want to create, but keeping in mind that sometimes the algorithm doesn't like the content that I create, and not to feel bad about that when there's changes, because that happened to me in like October, and there were certain things that I had to like be like, at this point now, it's like, yes, I could follow whatever they say to follow, try to follow it, whatever the number is, whatever the views are, I just gotta let it go and let be. Things change, especially with like everything's being affected because Meta got restructured, and sometimes it just takes doing that research so you have a peace of mind. It's like it's not me. Sometimes it's not you. It's just how it works out. Other than that, I think like the boundary I've always had, like when it comes to social media, is not treating it as if it's my whole life. That's like the boundary I've always had. Because I've witnessed for people where they take it personal, and people they thought maybe was like their best friend or their close friend, they realize that it's not. And I tell people all the time, it's like you got like when it comes to this space, you have to use discernment at all times. So that's one of my boundaries, to keep like mental health in that sense, because it's just like there's a reason why they say there's like like clout chasers and stuff like that. You have to use discernment when you see certain things. Don't try to like get close to them. You have to observe their actions and observe if they're really for you. And that's something I've always done since I started, because like I'm a STEM major. So it's kind of like social media wasn't really like my life at first. I kind of had to use it because I was passionate for certain things. And that's like the boundary. Like, don't treat social media like it's your whole life. You just have to treat it as like a tool to help you go forward. That's kind of like one of my major boundaries.
Speaking on that, something I did in 2020, I actually turned off all my social media notifications, like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All those notifications were disabled, and I had them turned off for all the way until last year, when I started like actually like being more consistent with content creation. That's the only reason I turned them back on. But like from 2020 to 2025, it was like I only want to open like these apps when I want to open them. I'll see all the notifications when I open the app. I'll see messages, DMs, likes, comments, whatever, only when I open the app. It's not because I got a notification and then feel the need to open the app. But if you ever feel too overwhelmed, I highly recommend that. It's not like you're like leaving social media, because obviously you could open the app at any time, but it does. I do think it does help mentally.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do the same thing, Jay. I turn off my notifications because it gets annoying, and I got other stuff to do. And listen, sometimes I do take a break from social media as well. Like lately, I've been doing other things. I think starting in March, I'm going to try to listen to some audiobooks. See, because I think I'm missing out on a lot of audiobooks these days. So I'm just going to focus on other stuff. I've been playing stuff on like my gaming systems I have too. That helps as well. So there's that. But I'm also trying to like separate. I'm trying to do my best to like pick up a book and read. That way I can like stay in verse and have a lot of knowledge to share with
Yeah.
others. Understand, like, hey, this is like, hey, I decided to take a break from social media. I read this book for a second. Would you like to know more about it? Because I read it for lots of understanding. And you're not gonna believe this. Like everybody, I had another panel. It was a Naruto panel, as y'all saw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect to do Team Guy, but Brian Donovan said something really nice, saying like, "That's good that you're reading a lot more. We need that."
We do. We really do. And like whether it's like more manga, more comics, more chapter books, more fiction or nonfiction, no matter what the reading is, it is good. I do see an alarming rate with like some
and literacy
and literacy. And so like I think any form of reading like is good, especially if you can like physically hold a book. For me, I felt like it's easier to physically hold a book and read it than like ebooks. So I've been to Barnes and Nobles a lot lately to buy.
Ooh, yeah. I do the same thing too. Every time I go to the mall, I go straight before I go to the other stores. I go straight to the Barnes and Noble section first. See if there's anything new.
It's always fun to do that. I honestly think the audiobooks are good like when you're at work if you can use the radio. Like I've listened to a few audiobooks when I read, but now like even with the comics, because now I've gotten to like interview all these indie comic creators, and like some of them have given me the books for free, so it's like there's an excuse to like
That's nice.
Especially like Hamer University.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, fun fact about that. Like she actually had her own roundtable talk about HCBUs, and I went to that one before I did mine. So like she was kind of like an inspiration for that too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, my mom began on me. Did you reading books? And I was like, I need you to stop. You say you got a book, like a book. She always be coming at me. Now listen. When I was a kid, truth is I didn't like to read. I'm trying to get myself into reading stuff because this is important stuff that you need to know, especially when you get to like bigger opportunities. You need to know most of these things that they're offering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hey, listen, as long as I'm trying every day, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. You can say you tried.
That's true.
So that matters. Let's see. Next, in your experience, what are platforms and conventions currently doing wrong or not doing at all when it comes to stopping racist harassment?
Is not doing anything an appropriate answer?
I mean,
yes, because these, if we're being honest, these conventions aren't really doing it. Yeah, they'll have a sign that says like "Be respectful to one another," but are they really doing anything like to stop racism or harassment? Especially when there's a lot of conventions that still let people like, I don't want to name any specific cosplayers, but one think we all know a cosplayer that starts with a W who's constantly going to conventions and harassing people for content.
Yeah.
But yet these conventions don't take any action against them. So like, is them doing nothing really like an appropriate answer? Because like you're saying what they can do better, but 0 times 10 is still 0. I mean,
I like the answer. For me, and this is because of being on the artist alley side, I have an issue with people that like they see that the harassment and the racism is happening and the sexism is happening and the borderline like PDF stuff is happening, and they do not take accountability and get rid of certain people that are part of staff of the convention that are doing those things and take them out immediately when things are being said. And particularly like Jay said, like the staff particularly, if they have people that are doing those things, and then they're trying to say that those people that are in the convention also, why it doesn't happen is because they're doing the same things and they're trying to protect that person for whatever reason. So when people constantly complain about this and that, sometimes like to save face, especially if said people bring it to social media, then they feel like they have no choice at that moment to put a band-aid. I have more respect for the very, 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 very few conventions. A lot of times it's like the one or two that are black, of course, we have to be the one to put our foot down and be like, we would not tolerate this. But my problem is when it's non-POC that are accepting cosplay guests and like people that they're paying and stuff like that, and they tell them that things are happening and they say, oh yeah, we'll take care of it. And then that same person, like Jay was saying, or other people, they're at other conventions, even though multiple people are on social media saying like ban this people, they don't look at the emails, they don't have people to check emails often. That's what the problem is. It's like you don't kick the people out of staff that are doing it, and you don't kick the people that come to the con that's doing it. They're just transferring to other places.
And the person I'm talking about, they will like harass people at the con, and the con, like security or whatnot, they'll either not doing anything or they'll kick them out, and this person will come back just a few minutes later and do the same thing. It's so like, I mean, I don't know. I've never ran a convention before, so I don't know how hard that is to moderate. But
but when it's the same person,
but like when it's the same person, like when there's a clear person who's a problem and they still allow these type of things to happen. And it's kind of hard to say. And I know for a lot of these cons, like at the end of the day, these are businesses, so their main goal is to make money. So they're gonna do whatever it is to make the most money. So maybe they haven't gotten enough backlash, or I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
That's true. And and especially with these conventions, when they see something happen, they, if they're not going to do anything, it's up to us to look out for each other. I don't know if you heard about this, but in in the state of Georgia where I'm in, Atlanta, there's this guy, and I'm veering away from the situation with JoJo said. There's this guy who's actually a sexual predator. I think he was an Asian dude. He's coming back, and people keep calling him out. And he's been doing this for a while now. And then Dragon Con, there was another like sexual harassment, and guess what? He was actually on the registry, and he was 50 years old, attacking teenage girls, like sexually harassing teenage girls. I was like, how did y'all let this guy get in?
And he was on the registry. They didn't check.
Yes, he's on the registry.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm just like, because usually when they go to events, there's a never mind.
He was 50. Yeah, I was seeing what he was doing. So he was on the registry. I think a few days, I think a few years ago, like we had like some kind of like, hey, registered sex offenders to be following people at cons or whatnot, who goes there and everything. And I think what happened was, if I can remember right, I think one of them actually followed me 2 years ago. So when I saw they follows me, it pissed me off. So I had called him out on it, and I guess Instagram deleted his account. So there's a lot of insane people out there. But going back, if I can turn back to that, like, why like conventions, y'all got all the security, and y'all not gonna do nothing about? Are you serious? Not gonna do anything about it?
Yeah,
I don't. I really don't.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, we just gotta watch out for each other. Yeah, watch out for each other. Look out for each other, because unfortunately, I mean, I hate to say this, but like these like they are businesses, so their main focus is gonna be money. So like
they're mainly focused on money, and listen, sometimes even like one of those guys, because I know there's so many like, people who are working with like, special guests and everything. Sometimes they could be jerks too.
Mm.
And it's like we're like, listen. When I was at Superstar Con, when I was trying to talk to Cara Edwards, the voice of Goten, everything, this one dude pulls me away from her. I was like, now one, I didn't like the way he was touching, so I told him, hey, can you please not put your hands on me? I didn't know that I was not supposed to like ask questions even if I'm not recording anything. And I had no camera on me. It would have been helpful if you would have put that on your website. Because I do read the websites before I go to these conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And never have I seen you said that I couldn't ask questions even without a camera or something. So I thought it was okay. So maybe put that on your website. But listen, what's done is done. I ain't gonna go deep into that anymore. But I think it was just a bad time for me.
Yeah.
And I do want to be clear that it's not all cons, because there are cons who do like a really good job at protecting their guests. So it's definitely not all cons, but there are certain cons out there that it does get overlooked a lot. And it's like really unfortunate that it does.
Yeah, because you have so many, and they hire so many people. Like, you give the employees so much power to do all this stuff. Like, there's another example. It was in 2024, Christmas of 2024. I was emailing like all the guest recommendations for these people and everything. This one dude who said, and he emailed me and said, if you have the money to do so, we'll be glad to bring them in. And I was like, when in the history of cons did fans have to pay an actor to come this way? So, and guess what? I did a video about this, and I think the manager saw my video, and he sent me an email saying, "I apologize, that was not me." This was a person who weaseled his way into being a Comic-Con employee, and the manager for that, he fired him.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, same thing with like sexual harassment, the racism and everything. They bring in like so many there's a lot of people that it's too easy for this stuff to happen, and they're not keeping track. Like I said, this guy, like you said, Jay, the guy was just coming back 4 minutes later, and it's like security ain't doing nothing about it. Like, we all should need to kick him out permanently so he doesn't come back. And then you got this guy who emails me that I have to pay money to get a certain voice actor to come this way. So, but you guys are right about like, shoot, we gotta look out for trade. We see something, we need to call it out.
Exactly. But like I was saying earlier, I do have faith in humanity, and I do believe the overwhelming majority of people are good. So I do think that helps prevent a lot of bad stuff from happening at cons. But for sure, bad things still unfortunately do happen. So we really gotta look out for each other.
Yeah.
Exactly. Next question. What warning signs should friends, collaborators, or community members look for when someone is carrying the emotional weight of repeated harassment? I know that's a difficult one, ain't it?
That is a difficult one.
Oh wow. Oh. Do you have something, Jay, to start with?
So as y'all know, when I go to cons, I'm normally with KB, right?
Yeah.
So me and KB are normally together all the time, right? And since she's a woman, she can see things that like I might not see as a man, right? So a lot of times it's when I'm with her that maybe we'll notice something, and she will say something to a person, and because like she's a woman, naturally they'll feel more comfortable with her if something is going on. So like really you just have to be be careful with how you approach people if you think something's going on, because you don't want to like, what's the word I'm looking for, like scare them or anything, or like contribute to their anxiety or whatnot. But just be on the lookout. Maybe if you see something, just ask if they're all right, and if they don't want to talk to you, don't push further.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell the staff or something, or someone trusted, like someone working the con. But just be on a lookout. Like, hopefully, I highly recommend anyone who goes to a con, go to a con with a group of people you know and trust, because like I was saying with the last question, these things do happen, and it sometimes it can be hard to see. But if you're with people you know and trust, they'll they will see the signs. But yeah, this is like a really hard question that I have to answer. But like, I'll say this: if you're with people people that you know that you're with, look out for the signs for those people, especially because you know them and you know how they are normal and how they are when something's wrong.
That's true. That's a good question, and I agree with Jay when it says from a woman's perspective, because unfortunately, like when it comes to like the harassment in that way, I wouldn't say I'm like harass, but my kindness gets taken for more, and sometimes occasionally, Jay knows this from the the round table talk that we talked about. Sometimes people think they can say things just because, and sometimes I have to be like, it's a little bit too much. But for every person, whether it's woman or not, it depends on your personality. For some people, it could be like they're just in the corner, just staring off into space, and like literally you can see them disassociating. That's for some people. Some people, it might be like they were fine, and the next thing you know, they're like crying. You don't know why, especially in the con. And sometimes that gives you pause. You're like, some people have panic attacks, literally. Sometimes from what I've seen. Or like how Jay said, they don't want to talk at all. Like they shut down. They don't want to talk. They don't want to like engage at all. And it's a hard thing to deal with, but like Jay said, it's like sometimes you only have control of like the people that you really, really know. Like you know your people, and you know how they are when they're okay, and you know how they are when they just experience something dramatic. But in my experience, it's a lot of those things. Like some people, like with some of my friends, like I can tell like from their laugh, because I've had situations too where it's just like if somebody says something like, but you're in a space where you're not sure if you react a certain way they're gonna retaliate. Some people like giggle out of uncomfortableness, and there's a way they do it. It's kind of like a delayed laugh, not like a genuine laugh. Like there's so many different ways, but it depends on the person. That's how it gets tricky sometimes. But if you know that person, you can tell the shift right away.
Yeah, and if you've been paying attention to some of the social media stuff, there was this one girl who said that this man was stalking her from the girls' bathroom, and they were in a group. Thank God she was in a group. I'm glad she was in a group. But she was also talking about this. Not only that, guys, I think y'all already know about this, but I'm going to bring it up here. They also talked about how Instagram has now locations.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, my Instagram right now, like ever since day one when they announced that, like, dude, if y'all see, my location is turned off.
Mine is off.
Yeah.
Yeah, my location, my location is turned off 24/7.
Yeah.
So I don't turn it off because I don't want people to find out where I live and all that stuff. But ever since that, she told me it's a good thing that that we stopped this guy before this whole doxing thing came upon with the whole location, because now weird people, a lot of unwell people are looking for people that they just want to be with, and they say no, and now Instagram's offering them the location, which I think that's pretty stupid. Like, why would you put give Instagram location so people can know where they are? And it's and to be honest, that's really kind of scary. Like someone could pull up to my house and just start, saying some bizarre stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I remember all those years ago. It might have been like 10 years ago at this point, but like when Snapchat introduced the same feature, right? And that was really a problem because and it probably still is a problem because Snapchat is mainly popular amongst like the younger crowd. Like it's more so now like Gen Alpha using Snapchat, and they'll have their location on, and anyone who has them can see where they're at. It's definitely a problem. But especially like with social media, I don't get the point of it. Like, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what decisions went into adding that feature. I'm sure they determined that it'll make them more money, so they added it. But yeah, I mean, the main thing I can say is like, if possible, I know it's not possible for everyone, but like, if you want to go to a con, make sure you're able to go with someone you know and trust. Do not go to a con alone. Cons, they're fun. They're fun places, and they can go without incident. And it's also more fun when you're with someone you know, but not just for the fun part, for the safety part.
Exactly. No, that's so true. Because when I went to BlurCon, luckily my husband can come with me. I'm so happy about that. But BlurCon is like one of the only cons that I can go to by myself because I know so many people. I make sure from my hotel, I go there. I'm with people 24/7 that I know. I get home before midnight. That's what I had to do the past 2 years because I just like I need somebody with me like home home, and if I'm by myself, I'm gonna stay as long as I feel like, like because it's usually the after party hours where I'm like, I gotta go. Like if I'm not with like my partner, I gotta go.
Yes. I be telling people, have y'all not even seen a horror movie? Don't split the party. I be telling like this. Listen, every time when I go to conventions, I try to say nobody goes alone. Y'all need to stay together because there's been so many instances. If y'all remember Manny, who got his stuff stolen at Anime Expo, all his equipment, because he had an interview with a guy from Biz Media. He had an interview with him, and somebody took all his equipment and all of his hard work. And I was like, it's way too easy for this stuff to happen. So y'all got to stay alert, look out for each other, go with a group so people can keep track of what you're doing. So it's I know it's supposed to be a fun experience, but being alert and staying aware is part of the experience now. So, I know we've been here for a bit, but then here's what I'm going to do for the remainder. I'm going to choose 2 powerful questions out of 3, 4, and 5 because I don't know if I rambled on too long. But are y'all enjoying yourselves so far?
Yes, of course.
Okay, just checking. I always ask my guests if they are. If not, I need to get better. All right. So, section 3 is building safer, stronger, and community spaces. Now, in your eyes. Yes, in your eyes. What does a generally safe and informative space for Black creators actually look like beyond buzzwords?
I like your questions first, so this one.
I try my best, okay?
I guess I would say, where you just feel comfortable. You feel like it's a family, and I mean that in like whenever you interact with certain people in the community, they, if you need advice, they're not going to gatekeep. They're going to be like, if I don't know the information, they'll pass it to somebody else. Or if they need to confide, you're either going to be like, okay, like this is a safe space to talk about it. I won't tell anybody else. If you need help with something, I'll direct you to somebody else. If it's not in the scope of what I can do, I won't stop them from talking, but I'll let them know like, hey, if you need help with this, I'll give you the resources. Or whether you do podcasts as a community or streaming or anything like that, is always like respectful. Like if anything does go down, like whoever's part of that community, make sure like to shut it down. Like the main thing is just like respect, comfortability, and just being comfortable with one another. I think that's what it is. I don't call myself a community like leader, you know what I mean? Like I do a lot of community things, but I mean, I'm grateful when people say that they feel like it's a safe space. So that's why I feel like I can answer that question because it's just like I'm hoping that like through like what I do with the podcast, I do that because so far people have felt like they feel seen, they feel comfortable. That's what I think. Like if it's a proper in our spaces, is like whenever you bring people into your community, they feel welcome, they feel safe, and they feel like appreciated and like respected.
For me, like I think I want to heavily emphasize safe space. I'm not sure if that counts as like a buzzword, but maybe like an analogy. The best analogy I can give it is it feels like you know how you feel when you're at a family reunion, like when you're with all your cousins, you get to be around all your people. There's just that, comforting feeling. These aren't people you see every day, but when you're with them, it's okay. You can be yourself. Everything's all right. You feel me? I think that's what it would look like to me. And luckily, with a lot of the people I've met in the blurred community, it has felt like that. Now the community is far from perfect, of course. There are still issues, but I think for the most part that we do a good job in the blurred community of creating a nice, inclusive, safe space for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going out, making those connections, every time I go to conventions, I try to make as many connections as possible. Lately, ever since I made it to 1K, people are now starting to know who I am. And I just thought to myself, well, shoot, I'm just out here just trying to interact with you guys. I don't deserve some. Listen, I'll be optimistic. Sometimes I'll be optimistic, but I'm also pessimistic too, because I was like, I don't know if I can keep going. It's sometimes, but it's people like you guys who like tell me like, I've seen so many reactions and people like, inspire me to keep going. And it's like, I was like, I like you guys. Y'all are telling me I need to keep going, have these sort of conversations. Because the thing is, I make sure my podcast is a safe place for people to just tell them and speak their minds out, whatever it is. I don't care what you are. If you've done illustration, tattoo artist, voiceover, etc. You don't, like not safe for work. So I don't care what it is, as long as we can just talk, even if it's for a few minutes. And like you said, blurred spaces, pretty much you're blurred wherever you stand. So, and like I said, and and guess what? Where you stand, you create that space for other people to come and join you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
if you like 1 year, you have to try to get to BlurredCon. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, you would.
I'm trying to. I just gotta make sure I can afford it first. I know I've been busy, but I still want to get out and live a little.
Yeah. It's definitely worth it if you go, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand with the whole con thing, because I can't do too many this year. I have to get a card made, but like I had already planned BlurredCon like since maybe December, so that's why. But I definitely understand with the whole like conventions and stuff. March can be a little tricky. Like there's a lot of things going on in March and everything like that.
Yeah, I do want to go to MegaCon Orlando and all that stuff, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna stick to what I planned. Like I said, I'm not going to any conventions anytime soon until May. Plus, on the bright side, at least I get to interview Kyle Habert at the end of March, the voice of Gohan. So there's that. He's actually going to be at MegaCon Orlando.
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm not going to be able to catch him. And I was like, why go to MegaCon Orlando to try to catch him? Well, you can just have him on here in your front row seat. It works itself out. So I was like, well, shoot, I better keep doing the at-home work because it's working. So, but yeah, wherever you guys go, as long as you're doing what you like, the blurred stuff, wherever you stand is when you start the real work, and you bring more people in your space. And anywhere you go, it's a safe place, as long as you make it safe for everybody else to join. So, let's see. Next question. What kind of support, mentorship, or protection do you wish had existed when you were first starting out?
Mm. Do you have anything to start with, Jay?
Support, mentorship, or protection.
Mm.
Like when, like starting out as a creator.
Yes,
Hmm.
I know. It's a trick question.
It's
It's
a-
a tricky
it's a-
question.
It's a tricky one for me, at least, because I mean
Yeah.
I'm fairly new to this whole content world, and I feel like I've had a lot of like support and like protection, especially because um for one, I have all my frat brothers, and and no matter how much they'd make fun of me, they support me till the day I die, which I love them so much for that. Don't tell them I said that though.
I won't. I won't. I won't.
And then two, I probably my biggest role model, like the person I look up to the most, and the person who support me the most, Carol Bits, obviously. Get to learn a lot from her and what she's done, especially as she brought me over to the con cosplay and creator world. So
I mean, she is your other half, right?
she is indeed, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her. So I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that because I feel like I got lucky in those regards.
Oh, I
Yes,
got you. I got you.
as I call them, mom and dad. I guess.
Well, tell you what,
Um,
I can. Oh, wait, you wanted to say something, Elizabeth?
um, that's an interesting question, though. I guess for me, like my route was kind of just like I wasn't in social media really, and I live where I live, where like support can be it's a mixed bag. Let's just say that. But I guess like shout out to like all the communities that I knew about now. Maybe if I knew about them when I first started. When I first started, I was in the trenches. I was just trying to figure it out honestly, because I didn't have a presence. Like a lot of people had a presence first, and then they started. I've shared this on my panel. Like I just one day I was just like, I just want to start, and I just started, and I had no really like any social media like standing, like not posting a lot, and I just did. So I kind of just had to literally start from scratch. So a lot of the communities that I just found through like researching on my own. Now, had I found out like, different communities like, for example, like Blurs Unite and some other groups that I'm in now,
Okay.
Black News Network and stuff like that. I think if I knew about like some of them came around like once I like started, but having those like community systems and like all the different streaming communities and stuff like that, I think had I just found them a little bit sooner, that would help. But like honestly, like ever since I've started, like even if it was like a slow support, like people found me, we're here. So yeah.
Hey, listen, it happens. Like sometimes, you know, you can't be focused on what you didn't do, but you're doing it now. Like I learned that too. When I realized I wanted to do this, and I was like, oh, I was out of school 2023, before I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kept focusing to just be like, you can't be focused on what you didn't do. At
Yeah.
least you're doing it now and making it happen. So listen, life happens, you don't know what's gonna happen. All you can do is just keep being productive every day until something sticks.
Mhm.
So it seems to be working out for everybody. So, but yeah, you see the point I'm making here.
Mhm.
Sorry that was a tough question, Jay, but I wanted to throw that out there. So, let's see, section 4, a resolution, solutions, and the path forward. Okay, now looking long term, what changes do you believe would actually reduce racism, harassment, and gatekeeping in fandom spaces?
I think actually this is like a question we talked about in the panel, and I think I said something along the lines of I feel like it's a mindset thing. Like that it's really a mindset thing. Like if we know what the issues are and like what the type of mindset that causes these things, like I think sometimes it like I think I forget if it's like Jay or Care, but it starts at the home sometimes too. Like, like be an example. Like if you know some of the habits that you had like, because you know how some people, it's like how they say they were brainwashed growing up from like their parents and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but then they find like maybe our spaces, or they have people that from different cultures, or like they go to college, or they go into like the social media space, and they find all these people that are outside of their own scope. Like some of them realize like, oh, all of these ideologies that I had are wrong. So there's two ways you can go about it. You can know they're wrong, but you feel like you're pressured because of society or what your parents and this or that says, or you break it and you do say like, I'm going to do better, and I'm going to fight all of those things, which is hard to do. I think that's really the only way, honestly, because we could say to do this, then third, but like if you don't break I guess how they say generational curses or whatever, that's going to keep happening in some capacity, I feel like.
I'm gonna continue the quote Bad Bunny, since that halftime show was pretty awesome. But it's really just all about love. Love is more powerful than hate, right? As long as we keep showing love, fight all the racism with positivity, continue to push for representation, and just keep going forward. Things will get better. I truly people in general, people are good people. People aren't inherently evil. If people were inherently evil, the world would have ended a long time ago. So for the world to last this long, people have to be inherently good, or at least that's what I tell myself. So I think as long as we keep doing what we're doing, keep promoting representation in the media, in these spaces, just keep pushing love and positivity, it'll get better.
Of course, definitely, man. Always, and as I said before, you say in this panel, peace and love over hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Let's go on to section 5, since pretty much all these questions are basically the same as I'm asking. Yeah, I'm trying. Listen, every time when I come up with questions, I try to make sure to come up with some very phenomenal ones. Okay, sometimes I be staying up until like at least 2:00 in the morning.
These questions have been great. You did a great job with them.
You did a good job.
So, and I was realizing like, shit, I'm only gonna get 5 hours of sleep. So it's just it comes with the job,
Yeah.
So let's go on to section 5. This one's about Ash Squid Kid and changing the culture. So when you guys learned about Ash's passing, what did it bring into focus about the realities Black creators face in fandom spaces?
I think it brought, with their death, I think it was like, it's the reality that like this is like a genuine issue. People don't understand the power that some of their words say in the comment. Some of these people, whether they're genuinely racist, or they're just coming on your page to troll you, which, in a sense is still racism. But whether or not they realize that like these words have powers. You don't know someone. It just makes you realize that like whether or not it's behind the screen or not, this is very much so real. What happens online has real world impacts. And you'll never know what someone is feeling or what your mental health is like. So it really reinforces the fact that we really do, and the world is like a crazy place right now. So it really just like makes me emphasize like we really need more love and empathy in this world, because there's just too much sometimes. And sometimes we just need to take a step back and just show each other that we care about each other, that we love one another, and that we can empathize and see that we're all human, right? I think that's what I got out of that. And unfortunately, the reality of the geopolitical climate of the world right now, with everything going on
Mhm.
on the other side of the world and everything happening here, and it's just overwhelming. But
Mhm.
sometimes we just gotta take a step back and remember we're all human.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was a shell shock at first. I think I did a short video because I didn't know if I was going to bring it up at first, but I found out about Ash about a few weeks before she died. I had just came back from a convention. 3 days after, like 3 days after the convention, I realized that she had died 3 days before that. And we just talked about bullying and racism in our panel because that's something that I've always mentioned that like um we need to speak up on it. And it kind of hit me at that moment. I'm just like, people are gonna start talking about it. And I was just like, I was happy that people started talking up about it and they really wanted to make a change. But I was like, I realized how broken we were for a little bit because I was just like, somebody died. Somebody died because of this. Like, I guess it's gone on for way too long. And within the community, we know that this is a thing. But I think sometimes we were afraid to really, like sometimes we would say it in a podcast or like maybe a few people that dealt with it a lot were saying it, but it wasn't enough for the outside to realize like how much of an issue it was. And then when she died, it kind of just started like a domino effect. I saw like YouTubers that didn't even know about the blur community was talking about it. News was talking about it. Like everybody in the community was talking about it. And I was like, it kind of made me sad a little bit. You know how they say like a traumatic event starts a chain of events? That's what it felt like. So part of me just felt so sad in that regard because I was just like, I wish I knew her. I wish I could have reached out to her, had her on the show or something like that. It was a lot of mixed emotions when it came to finding out about her passing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this happened, because I was paying attention. I think Bree sent me what happened while I was trying to wake up and just get ready for the day to start. But yeah, I didn't hear about her until like after she died, and I was looking at so many black cosplayers to support until her name popped up on my screen.
Mhm.
And like, and I told my grandparents about this, and they kind of felt bad that she committed suicide too. And here's the other thing they also told me, oh man, this is gonna be like important, but she was my grandma told me that you can't save everyone, Philip.
Mhm.
No matter how hard we try. No matter how hard I try, I can't save everybody.
Mhm.
You know, like I tell you guys, someone could be dying right now and I wouldn't even know about it.
Yeah.
And that's really the scary and powerless part that really makes me feel like I can't do anything.
Mhm.
And I think what I can do is just keep doing, like, keep looking around, keep doing research, talk to people, understand like, hey, like no matter what those people say to you, you guys always have a safe place with us.
Mhm.
And we can try to talk about these certain situations. Because if we don't, then someone else might commit suicide,
Mhm.
and it's a terrible thought to think about. But I think the most important thing is that we continue to show love and support to all the Black creators out there who are doing their own thing. Like I've met so many people who've done like a lot of like. Because thing is, gotta tell y'all something right quick.
Mhm.
Yeah, I went to like thing is not only have I been going to conventions, but I have been going to a lot of mini markets in my town.
Mhm.
And they sell like all kinds of like, lotion, candles, like, foods and all that stuff. And I met three African American Black ladies, and they had some amazing stuff that they crafted. And I supported their business and I gave them shout outs.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's like most importantly that hey, I'm going to conventions, but I'm also going to all those mini events as well, and
Mhm.
telling them that you guys, I appreciate all the work you've done. It's really amazing. That's what's going to make their day. Because I know Ash, when she was cosplaying, she had to deal with all the hatred and nobody was, sticking onwards to calling these people out, and that's what led. Because if y'all remember too, she also had, and this goes back to mental health awareness. She had some mental health problems as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a serious situation. People are committing suicide, and like I said, while I was in college, I did do a documentary talking about mental health awareness. It's still on my YouTube page, so if you want to check that out, it's still there. But yeah, I think spreading the word about these amazing work people are doing, especially in the Black community, as well as understanding the importance of mental health awareness. I think that's what's going to be like the two key components to make sure that no matter who you are loved regardless of what other people say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So sorry, I'm trying not to cry here.
No, you're good.
It's all
So-
good. We need more empathy in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did cry in one of my earlier episodes back in season 1. So you can take a look at that for yourself.
I understand. I was mostly angry because I'm just sitting here like, and then even when certain people were talking about it, it's like, why are you using? Try not to get angry now, but why are you using it for other agendas? I'm just like Jay said, the goal, if you were going to bring it up on your page, was supposed to be to show empathy. Like, what are you doing? Like that's what made me upset.
Mhm. And like I said, like these idiots just do it for attention.
Yeah.
And there was this other situation that Destiny posted about this queer Black woman who was talking like she did this to herself. She on TikTok.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah,
That
I
was
don't.
stupid.
Yeah, we shouldn't even talk about it. Let's not even bring attention to that.
Yeah.
So crazy stuff, and and of course her, TikTok got deleted, got banned after that.
Yeah, like we said, just accountability and empathy. That's what we need. That's what we need.
So like if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say it at all. Cause when that happened, I was like, considering that she also makes posts like this, and then I was like, awesome, dude. Maybe that's the reason your account is not banned on TikTok.
I think the reason why that happened, because like I said, this was a situation unlike all the other times that we brought it up, that it became headlines outside of just like TikTok and YouTube and stuff like that. There's even a few YouTubers that I know that I wasn't even expecting them to bring it up. Young Don was one of them, which he's like a semi-popular like YouTuber. And then one day he just did a reaction video on it. So I think it just caused people that were outside of the community that were just ignorant to it. Just, they had access to seeing it. That was the difference.
Right. That's true. But yeah, we just when something like that happens, if I see someone who's dealing with the harassment and the hatred from these people, I will try to reach out to them and bring them on the talk so we can try to hash this, just get it all out.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing. Even if I'm not like doing as much, at least I'm coming on here and talking to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, my entire podcast. This is my only way of fighting back, and it's working. And people are saying I like him. That this is really, reaching out and just talking to anybody in general. Like this is my way of fighting back as well.
Yeah.
If you guys understand that too.
Yeah.
Next question. If you could speak directly to young Black cosplayers watching this, what would you want them to know about their worth, their voice, and their safety?
Well, I'd want to know that they belong in this space and cosplay is for everyone. And to make sure they find friends and family who support them. Yeah. Sorry. I don't mean to sound down right now, but like
you're good. You're good.
But yeah, pretty much you are worth it. You deserve to be here just like everyone else, and cosplay is for everyone.
Yeah, that's true. For me, I would say like, yeah, everybody that's here already will welcome you with open arms. We love you. We support you. We're black. We're beautiful. We do the damn thing. We always do. We always show up and show out. You will do the same. You will find your people. You will find where you fall into the community. Like things take time, but it's worth it in the end if you're very passionate about it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise or try to dim your light. That's pretty much what I would want to tell them.
Hmm. Definitely, definitely. And I tell them, and I would tell them too. You know, just be yourself. Just be yourself. That's all that you can ask for, right?
Mhm.
You don't need nobody's recognition. You know, just keep doing what makes you happy.
Mhm.
We're at the conclusion now, so we can go ahead and wrap this up. Now, I'm going to ask two. Let's see. I'm going to ask at least two powerful ones here. What is one message every Black creator listening today deserves to hear? And I think we already explained that in this last section, but go ahead and answer, please.
This is your space. You belong here. Keep going.
Mm, We always do it big, and nobody can take that away from us. I don't care what anybody says.
Nice. Next one, despite everything, what gives you hope about the future of Black representation in nerd and fandom culture?
I get to see more of. I'm seeing more of it. There's a lot more representation than there was when I was a kid, and not just in American media, but like how you brought up Gachi Akira in foreign media too, Japanese media. We're seeing more representation, and even with the the gain in popularity of things that are heavily inspired by Black culture, like K-pop, you see it more and more. So clearly, we are doing something right. So I'm very positive of the future.
Yeah, I'm excited, man, about all the different businesses and like comics and like video games and people already getting recognized on how we talked about on the panel. Sometimes you have to make the table to create the table. People are doing exactly that, and like so, and like when I see certain people get recognized in the way that they are now, it's like we would have never saw that like 10, 15 years ago. So I'm kind of excited to see where people push things because from what I've been hearing from like, my interviews, I was just like, wait till they get more traction. Like it's gonna be a wrap at this point. Like, just like shout out to Ataka Noir, like he's one of those
Mhm.
people and like
Yeah.
and like the people at Yanu, like and like Blur's like all these people like just doing these things and it's just like wait until they announce it, that's all I can really say.
That's sweet. That's sweet. And I've been seeing some of your episodes, Elizabeth. They are really amazing.
Thank you.
So I say keep say just like people are telling me I gotta keep going. You keep going too, Elizabeth. Okay.
Thank you.
So let's see. Let's see. I think I could do two more. Um if you could speak to your younger self as a creator, what truth would you want them to hold on to?
Mm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Um, hmm. Be
Prob
okay if sorry, you go
No,
first.
no, no. You go. You go. It's fine. You
Okay.
go.
Take your
Um,
time, guys.
it's things I feel like I'm still learning, but it's a little bit better now. It's okay to trust people when they want to like let them in. That's the main thing because I know I had issues with that growing up. Inc. has really like slapped me in the face like listen like you gotta let people in. And then as well as just take things one step at a time. You're gonna have roadblocks, but that doesn't mean that you stop. That's one of the main things to tell my younger self. Like sometimes the risks are gonna scare you, honest. They're gonna scare the heck out of you because you like to be comfortable, but sometimes you have to do things that are uncomfortable in order to get to where you want to go or what you're passionate about.
Right.
Um,
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I think for me, it's just like a poem I know, and if anyone who's watching this is D9, they'll know this poem too. It's a poem called "Don't Quit." Poem starts off with the phrase "When things go wrong, as they sometimes will," and then throughout the poem, it explains the things that go wrong, and it ends with "When things seem worse, that you must not quit." Right? It's a poem that I've learned nearly 10 years ago when I joined my organization, but it's something that I think about quite often, that no matter what, you keep going forward and things will happen. So a truth is to my younger self is to don't quit. Things always work out in the end because all our problems are temporary.
Exactly. You're gonna make mistakes. It's inevitable. But hey, you knock yourself down, you keep going, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would tell myself too. Keep going. There's just gonna be good days and there's gonna be bad days. Everything's not gonna be peaches and cream.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's how you learn from is what counts.
Exactly.
So, now, one last question, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up.
Hmm.
Now, in one sentence, what does the future of Black creativity look like to you?
You can go first.
It looks powerful. That's my sentence. Looks powerful.
There you go.
It looks bright and optimistic. That's what I was gonna say.
That's perfect. Those are perfect two dialogues.
Because I tend to ramble sometimes. I really was trying to.
I believe in the dignity of simplicity, so I like to keep things straight and to the point.
Well, I got one simple sentence that will work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you need.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all you need. Well, I think that wraps up everything. I know there wasn't a lot of people here today, not as I planned, but hey, life happens. Still working how these things work, but I think y'all too enjoyed our time here.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing. So I'll just but yeah, it's like I said, we keep coming on and we keep having those discussions, and it's nice.
Yes.
Always have those discussions.
Always.
Yep. Definitely.